Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
How's it going, dude?
It's going fine, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It's what have I been doing today? So tomorrow, I've been trying to find some clothes to wear because I'm doing a photo shoot for all my solo stuff. I don't have any nice pictures of just me on my own. So,
dude, you got to wear a suit. You got to look all
so.
Sharp with a tie and everything. And,
yeah, what do you think? What do you think I should go with?
Tuxedo, dude. with a bolo tie and everything. You got to go like mariachi style.
But the problem is because I never ever wear a suit, I look like an idiot in one. I look like my mom's dressed me.
I was just kidding, man. Don't wear a suit.
Okay. All right, yeah. Well, that's good because I absolutely wasn't planning on doing it. You worried me then for a minute.
Nah. No, man. Do your thing, man. You got the tie.
I was thinking of doing a funny picture with holding loads of different instruments. You know, kind of like a bit of a sort of play on the fact that I play a bunch of instruments.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that might work. I don't know. Whatever, we'll figure something out. Danielle's going to help me out with it.
Yeah, that's
right. All right, yeah, so we've got Ricky, Joe, and Akila here from, oh my God.
The Shake.
The Shake.
Wow. Wow.
How's it going, guys?
It's nice. It's nice. We just remembered our name, too, so it's okay. Don't worry about it.
It takes us a little while to think of it. Doing good, man. Yeah,
cool. No, we played a bunch of times together. I've seen you play. I don't know what happened to me just then. It's a little embarrassing, but whatever. How's life? All right?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, for us, we've been super, super busy, so I'm pretty excited to be able to start kicking off. It's nice to end the year on a high, being able to play a bunch of shows, and obviously we've got an EP coming out. So,
how long have you guys been together?
I think just over 6 months.
Yeah, something like that. It's
about
6 months now.
maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was longer than that.
No.
I mean, you guys
It feels like it's longer than that.
No, but
You
even
came
just
kicking out of the gate.
Yeah, that was sort of the thing, is that we came out strong from the get-go. So a lot of people were sort of surprised that we'd only been together for a short period of time. But we had started getting, we had already booked a monthly gig over at Prop, the second month we were a band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the kickoff to everything. And we're like, all right, well, because we were already sort of in a motion with the other band we were playing with prior. So once we left and started this, it was just kind of all right, let's just take the momentum.
Thank you.
So we're all three of you in this other band, or
Yeah.
At different times.
So you guys were already playing together, because I was going to say I've seen you live and you guys just, you guys click, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And you're tight,
Well, we all
so-
played in the same band at different times.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, we had some overlap in the sense where I was the drummer for the band, and then I came after Akila, and then sometimes he would come up and he'd play while I'd go up and sing, or he would cover some gigs for me and stuff like that. And that was we've worked together musically over the past year prior, but never in this sense where I was playing guitar and he was strictly on drums and him on bass. Because bass is not his first instrument. Guitar is not my first instrument. Akila is the only one on his native instrument.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So why don't we have a little bit of a chat about both of you guys' musical origins? We've had Ricky on here before and we talked about that. So be interesting to pick your brains, Akila. You were saying you're the son of a pastor, is that right?
Yes, I grew up listening to a lot of gospel church music and things like that.
Yeah. I honestly can't think of a better kind of beginning of becoming a musician.
I got a lot of classical training when I started because of that, because we're reading music to play at on a Sunday.
Yeah,
you know, everybody's a paid musician, so there's no rehearsal or anything.
Yeah.
So I got really used to covering a lot of different genres and things like that. After I became old enough, then I started going everywhere. Everybody started hiring me to play.
For sure. I mean, some of the best musicians I know down here, Rocky and Josh Miles, people like that, are all their roots of their musicalities comes from, early church experiences.
I feel like we've had quite a few people on here that have talked about church music being their kind of beginnings and their roots, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Literally, no matter what you think of it, that is just such a positive thing.
And they're very strict.
I was gonna say I think it really helps for drummers, especially.
Yeah.
I've just noticed over I haven't even been like in the music scene for long, but that like definitely seems
Just to let you know,
help.
Joe is about 12 or 13 years old. So I haven't quite figured it out. We're going to cut him open to count his rings soon. But.
That's great. So, outside of church music, how did you start sort of developing your musical taste? Okay.
Just growing up, you always skated, I always surfed, so
Right.
I always and I was always a reggae dreadlock, so I kind of like mixed my own type of things, what everybody told you not to do when you're training classical music.
Sure.
Yeah.
And kind of where we're at now. We're just doing everything everybody always told us not to do.
When did the reggae take hold? How old were you when that all started to become a thing?
I mean, being from Brazil, I kind of grew up listening to reggae in
Sure.
the house, and
Yeah.
it just became more of a strong suit because I was playing a lot of reggae. I was getting a lot of gigs to play reggae, so I got kind of a little recognition for being a reggae drummer. And,
Oh, cool.
And then we
Okay.
came out.
So you were born in Brazil, right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been here?
20-something years, man.
Right, a long time. Okay. I'm English, obviously. I've been here 11 at this point. So you moved
Is
to...
that what that sound is?
I've been here, my entire freaking life.
So you moved here when you were a child then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was 9.
Right. Okay.
So
Cool.
reggae is like pretty big in South Florida.
Yeah.
So I can
I'd say.
see where that would be. an
I was
influence.
also in the rock band, a couple signed rock bands before, so rock kind of died in South Florida.
Yeah.
Little
All
bit,
the rock
yeah.
stations went away, no more festivals like Warped Tour and things like that. So for me not to like stay, I guess, doing nothing, since I can play other genres, I was just reggae, it's coming back, let's go.
Is it ever? It's like just a huge wave of it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's such a, like, reggae in England when I was, listening to it in the kind of 90s, there's all these ties to punk with it in England because of, all the Windrush generation Jamaicans that moved to England. It was basically after the war, what happened was tons of Jamaicans moved to the UK because there was like a thing where they were encouraged to come and get jobs because the country was flattened and we needed people to work. Loads of Jamaicans moved then. And so like the 60s and 70s, there was this huge Jamaican music like explosion essentially.
Well,
in
that was the
England.
birth of two-tone, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and it was, absolutely.
Because it was the reggae influence that came from Jamaica that came in with like the UK rock.
That's exactly right. And my the bassist in Sonic Boom 6, Barney, he wrote his thesis on this for university, and his whole premise was that it was the first band, I don't know if he meant globally or in the UK at least, where black and white kids were growing up in the same neighborhoods and forming bands together as just like 100% kind of peers,
Yeah.
And like it was definitely in the UK, the first time that had happened. Two-Tone was a big deal, I think,
Yeah, I watched this unbelievable documentary about two-tone, and I actually wrote a song because of it, like all about two-tone because I was so inspired from this. But yeah, it's crazy how that did that. But that was, I mean, like reggae coming to the UK started this whole entire genre, which I mean,
it has
obviously
this feel,
turned into a weirder version of ska after that. But
totally, I feel like reggae in England just has a bit of a different feel. It's like it's
more dancey.
It's more dancey, and it's also just in terms of the vibe of the scene. It feels like sort of like edgier. Like sometimes in Florida, it can be a little bit like kind of
hippie-ish.
Kind of two guys playing Bob Marley in a tiki
park.
bar, There's nothing
Hippie-ish.
edgy about
Yeah,
that.
there's nothing, not a damn thing.
So is reggae supposed to be edgy?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying that it just has this feel.
I'm saying
Yeah.
like it is really reggae vibe. Like
Well, I think that it goes to the point of it's how you interpret it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
sort of like
I guess.
what we did is that we decided that we were going to interpret the reggae a different way
Yeah.
and be like, well, because I mean, like he primarily is more of like the chill. What's the band that you like so much?
Oh, stick figure.
Stick figure.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That shit puts me to sleep. And I mean, I thoroughly respect everything they do. And I mean, like the guys from Stick Figure are massive producers in the reggae world and everything like that. And they write fantastic songs, but it bores me to tears.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: it's subjective. You're allowed to not like it.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's like one of the cool things is that like he likes that, and then he's into the harder stuff, and then I'm more into the pop punk. So like going back to interpretation, like we just decided that we were going to interpret it a different way and see if people liked it. Honestly, we didn't really give a shit if people liked it. We were just going to be like, all right, this is what it is.
Doesn't matter to us than anything. Yeah.
So Joe, how did you get into playing music then, mate?
Well, I kind of just grew up in a house where like my mom was definitely always playing music.
Yeah.
She was really big into like Bowie, Zeppelin.
Huge into Bowie.
Yeah,
That's
she
cool. My mom too.
Yeah, they are well aware of how good she's Bowie.
She was Bowie for Halloween, was she?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
she was actually. Yep, she came
She with
full
the
wig
face
and
and the-
everything.
Ziggy
The whole
Stardust
thing?
with
The whole- yeah.
sliding box.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
It was
that's
great.
awesome.
She does it every year, actually.
Oh, she does?
Yeah,
Oh,
every
okay.
single year.
Now we know.
Yep.
That's
The whole
so
world.
great. No, my mum's a huge Bowie fan as well, and it's a very respectable fandom. I think it's very cool.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's like a huge, apparently like huge following that interacts with each other and stuff. There's like a really big fan base for that.
Absolutely.
It's yeah.
He's a badass, no
Yeah.
doubt
I'm
about
actually a
it.
big
Yeah,
Bowie
I
fan
love the music
myself.
myself. So
Yeah. Did you hear
Akila's
that?
got something to say about it. Akila's got
No.
He's biting his tongue.
I'm about to get shot. Everybody here apparently likes David Bowie.
It's okay,
I
man.
love
It's okay
him.
not to like David Bowie.
I
It's
love
okay.
him.
Did you hear
Oh
that?
my God.
Did you hear the last album before he died?
I did actually.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
banger.
That was
Oh, he's
something.
dead?
Yeah.
See?
Feels like at least he's.
Oh, he has passed on.
Yeah,
huh?
at least he's gone.
You were saying.
So yeah, getting back to your experience of growing up with music. So your mum's into Bowie and Zepp. What was the first sort of bands that you started listening to and things like that?
I feel like obviously just like, stuff along those lines, and then I kind of started getting into reggae pretty much like in high
Reggae
school.
in the car.
Yeah.
Started listening to like Revolution and Peppers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of found Stick Figure kind of right as I was getting out of high school.
Right.
But just stuff like that, and then I kind of like learned a lot of stuff by ear.
Yeah.
Picked up a guitar, decided I wanted to do that. And
How old are you, mate?
23.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that there's this kind of like there's a bunch of people that I know at your age where it's like, like reggae does mean that. It means like Revolution, Stick Figure, Pepper, as opposed to kind of, like the 70s and 80s reggae that
Well,
I did like I had listened to it and had heard it, like, my aunt and uncle honestly got me into like Bob and Ziggy and Peter just a tiny little bit, and also along with like some other newer rock and stuff like that. But I don't know, I didn't really connect with the older stuff as much as the newer stuff, and not as a disrespect to that or anything, because I do love and respect that music as well as some of the newer stuff that's coming out from like the West Coast area and stuff.
Well,
like
there's
that.
this rocky kind of veneer over this newer reggae, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of it
for
is
sure.
What they call the white boy reggae?
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
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 I was desperately trying to avoid
Yeah. But I mean, that's
It's a term.
That's
it's
a reality
pretty
of it,
widely
though.
used, I feel like.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is that I mean, like, if you look at a band like Ballyhoo is reggae-ish, but they're more like, and Howie has said multiple times, like, Green Day is his favorite band.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's always going to be his major influence. Him and his brother, that's what they're always going to be going back to. So reggae they like, but it's always going to be written from the basis of Green Day.
Yeah.
So it's going to sound like that.
And I don't think, there was someone talking about it online the other day, and I was talking to them, and he was like, he was complaining about California reggae, and I said something like, reggae, sort of much like the sort of blues scene, is definitely these days seems like it's like predominantly white and pretty far away from its roots. But it doesn't mean it's bad. There's
No,
some good music there. You know what I mean? It's
I
just
think
completely different.
White boy reggae or California reggae, it sort of took the place of pop punk.
Yeah,
like pop
totally.
punk was like the Newfound Glory, Good Charlotte, Simple Plan era ended.
Yeah, and now you see festivals that are like big lineups, pretty much
Well,
just
you
like
see,
you
like
used
what's
to
the
see.
what's the one that's like predominantly country festival that's down in Fort Lauderdale?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sure.
But this year, it's
country.
so it's predominantly country, but it's a huge festival that happens down in Fort Lauderdale.
It's on the beach or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's like 3 days. Tortuga. Yeah. So this year, well, I mean, last year I think 311 played. This year Ballyhoo's playing. Like, so I mean, like and they have bands that if this happened 15 years ago, it would have been Simple Plan. It would have been, you know. So it's like though they sort of took the headspace of where pop punk was and then put it into what it is right now.
Hillbillies on that bill, man.
I know, right?
Bending genres. That's, you know, but rockabilly is one of those things that sort of came and went without much fanfare. It's bound to have a moment.
Well,
I feel like it's sort of having a moment now. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more now than I was before.
We get with Killbillies. If it was one thing more than anything else, it's the thing is most similar to is like Irish punk.
Yeah.
Irish folk and Irish punk.
Which Dropkick Murphys and Flogging Molly basically had that on lock, and nobody else really can touch them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between that and then when I write songs, they really sound like the more upbeat Frank Turner songs, honestly. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what they sound like. And then, you know, because it's like an English guy singing really folk with a backbeat, so it's going to end up sounding like
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Really
he's kind of cornered that as well.
I know,
It's really more like
Bitch.
pop punkish kind of songs, and then we just put the 1/5 on the bass, and suddenly it's you know Americana.
There you go. So talking about Frank Turner, after I went to see him, people have been telling me that if you email him, he gets back to you.
100%.
And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I emailed him, he did send me and he knew like a bunch of members of my band I was in, Sonic Boom 6 and stuff. He was dead nice to me. It was amazing.
I emailed him in 2006, and ever since then, probably about once a year, we'll exchange an email.
That's cool.
Just because it started off with like, hey man, you know, like I really love your music, you're super inspiring, this, that, and the other, and he's like, awesome, and then it turned into, hey man, how you doing?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're like, great man, you know, I hope you can come to a show. I'm like, yeah. I hope I can too, and that's basically it. That was, it's just
How's
like so
dog?
bizarre.
I love you.
As the years have gone on,
I kind of almost said that, and then really embarrassing.
It's kind of because for me, his music is so emotional, and I will listen to certain songs and weep uncontrollably from them.
Sure.
And I think that's sort of the thing about it is that like for me, he's like so big in my head to think that I can just shoot him an email and he emails me back is like emailing God.
Well, I know exactly what you mean, and I felt the same way because he's always taken up a lot of room in my head, especially in terms of writing. But the trip for me was that he in my head he is really big, but sort of globally. Not so much. You know,
no, he's not.
If you love him, if you like him, you love him. But if you don't, then you don't even know who he is.
I was talking about this with Dominic last night, where I was saying that because Dominic Delaney, he's obviously a gigantic. That's how me and him became friends. Was
he's got
because
like
of
20
Frank
Turner tattoos.
Woo, he is insane. Like, I thought I was a big Frank Turner fan. This dude is a Frank Turner fan. Yeah. Anyways, but I was talking to him. It's like, and the reality of it is like to us, he's gigantic, but really nobody knows who the hell he is.
Yeah, totally.
But like I heard the way I tend to be in Walgreens one time, and I was like, what fucking alternate universe am I in? Right? Because that's like, what?
I've heard recovery in weird places.
Very strange. Like when you hear it in Publix, you're like, this isn't. This is supposed to be mine. This isn't yours, Publix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you guys are releasing a new record, aren't you?
Yeah, we have an EP that's going to be coming out. It's going to be available for everybody when this show comes out.
Okay, so, it's got a great name. It's called Sounds Better Live.
Yeah, it's better live. It's
live.
It's one of those things where that's like the number one thing that people tell us all the time.
Right.
And because we've been self-recording. We've only done one recording with somebody else. That was the song Collection that's on our Spotify, and that was with Rocky.
Right.
And he
Shout
helped
out
us
to
out.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky.
Yeah, what's up,
Rocky
Rocky?
Rocker. I have to tell like the reality is that if it wasn't for Rocky, this EP wouldn't exist.
Oh, cool.
Because he came in and he said to me that he's like, I love your sound. I want to get the live sound out of you. So
Right.
Collection is recorded completely live. and then we just put the vocals in after, obviously. But and it gets a really interesting sound. And after listening to it so many times, I'm like, there's something to this where it's live. But the problem is that we tried doing that. Like, we tried recording. We have tons of recordings of where we just hooked it all up at practice, and we just like run through the song, and then we'll just take that cut, and it's like, it's not that great. So we did a different way this time of doing it, but it was Rocky who turned around and said that that the live sound is what really matters. So we tried to keep as...
It does have a live sound.
We tried to keep it as raw as possible.
As possible. And honestly, I mixed and mastered it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It does have that kind of live, feel to
and
it.
that's
Definitely the drums, like the toms, sound super live.
They sound, and it's funny because it's like when I listen to it, it's like I feel like I'm listening to us practice.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
and it's so bizarre.
Cool. What did you do with the guitars? Because it sounds like they're multi-tracked and they're very full and saturated. And I just wondered, like, if you could, guitars, amps, and stuff like that.
So we used all of our own stuff. We didn't use his amp, but we used my amp. I have a Crate 120. It's a solid state. This same exact amp I used in high school.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine let me borrow it, and I've been using that. That's been sort of getting the sound. So we just, I used a Sennheiser E60 to be able to record it, and I have 3 tracks of every guitar.
Okay, that's what it is, yeah.
And what I also did is when I did the songs originally, I had done dummy tracks for the guitar just with my DS1 overdrive.
Yeah.
And I kept that in too.
Okay.
So that it just kind of gives it like a little bit of extra on top of it, and then just sort of blended them all together and to try and give as full of a sound as possible. But also on top of it, his bass is so distorted on it. It's really because like he uses a distortion pedal.
Right, yeah.
So with that, it gives it a gigantic like rock sound.
It's got a really wide sound for just the bass and guitars. So
well, there's some songs on there. I honestly I can't remember which one it was. But there's a couple songs on there where the bass does come through as I don't even want to say distorted because it wasn't even so much distorted, just like super full.
Yeah.
And then I started remembering back to when I saw you guys playing at Average Joe's that there's a few songs that you don't play like traditionally. You play.
Oh no, I'm playing chords.
You're playing chords like a guitarist.
That's predominantly what he does,
which is amazing to me.
It was one of those things where once again Rocky Rucker. I mean, he saw him play, and he goes and he was like, I thought it was weird that I was playing chords, and Rocky's like, no. Play chords. Play all the chords you want. And because it fills up the
He does. He listens
space.
to the No Name album. There's tons of chords in there on the bass.
Yeah, I mean, he loves that sound, and that was like he just did it naturally because he's a guitar player. He's not a bass player.
Yeah.
Right.
So he just knew that he needed to fill the space. Yeah. And that's what he did to do it. And
makes sense in a 3-piece for sure.
It makes it so much easier for me, honestly, because
it's awesome,
I can be able to do more things knowing that it doesn't completely fall apart.
Yeah, keep the rhythm going.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, like I'm watching him play. I've been playing bass like my entire freaking life, and I'm watching him play, and I'm like, holy crap. You can play chords on a bass?
Yeah, I think
I didn't know either.
It's
Is
one of
it a
those
4 or a 5 string? I can't remember. 4. Right,
Yeah.
Looking into getting
11 string.
I'm looking into getting one.
That low B would do some damage.
Yeah,
damage.
Yeah, it would.
I think it's one of those things where we just sort of, when it came to playing, when it came to the writing, when it came to just the way that we interact with each other, we were just like, we're just going to be as much as ourselves as possible and just do whatever the fuck we want.
I think with it, it's a good way of going about it because, if you're sort of a punk key kind of band, I don't know if you would call yourselves a punk band, but I
don't know. I have no idea what we are.
I'd love
a label on.
Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think we are because we still have not been able to pinpoint a genre.
It's definitely something. I was talking to Justin about this. Justin Hucker, the guy who's in the other room recording the episode, I was talking to him about this earlier and saying, like, I think it's really important for bands to just be what they are, because you can really smell a rat. You can smell pretension so far off, and it's like, and people just want to hear you being you, and I think this is definitely a record that feels honest.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like there's a lot more. There's more and more bands, and bands that we've been getting on here. There's more and more bands and even solo artists and stuff that we've been getting that don't have a specific genre that you can shoehorn them into. I mean, even the other band that Justin and I are in, Euphoria, like. for years we've been playing in this band, and I still can't tell you what it is. I couldn't possibly describe the band to you. It makes no sense to me. And even Killbillies, like people are like, what are you guys? Well, we're kind of bluegrassy, Americana, Celtic, pubgrass as you call it. Like
It's always the best
we
question.
don't really have a genre
What-
that we fit into.
What do you guys play?
Yeah.
Everything.
Dude, you just gotta come see it.
You gotta come see it live.
Yeah.
see it live.
I think that's also
'Cause
like
it's
the
better
appeal
live.
of it too. Yeah. Well, I think it's the appeal of it too is that like it's one of those things where people ask what kind of music we play, and it's like you just got to come experience it.
There are a lot of things in the record that are evocative of other things, but I like the way it feels like you kind of recontextualize it in a different way. Like there's a lot of kind of pop punk sounding riffs and stuff like that, but it's just a bit slower, and it just gives it a totally different feel.
Yeah.
Like it just has this vibe to it, which is like slightly. It's like if you'd done it like 20 BPM faster, it'd just be skate punk, and it wouldn't actually be that interesting. But the way you're doing it, it's like, oh, okay, there's a thing about it.
It's just like I don't know, man. It's hard to explain because
I like to break up the beats.
Yeah, I noticed there was some. Which was the tune that I was listening to that had this breakbeat on it? It was Cherry. Towards the end, you sort of go into this like D&B sort of feel. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, during the bridge,
like that kind of like breakbeat feel at the end.
Yeah, that
Sick.
was so that song is actually that's a riff he wrote like a billion light years ago, and considering how old he is, that was like 2 weeks ago. But no, he it's like one of the things
Age
that
jokes
we
for
always
days.
dog him about his age because he's so young.
I'll tell you what, it's better being young than anything else. So you're in a good spot.
Dude, I'm turning 50 on Saturday, so
Yeah, I was gonna say.
so it's fine, man.
He's barely allowed to play
B12,
the
own
places
it.
we play.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just started legally drinking a few years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he wrote that riff and he kind of showed it to me and he was like, "This is a riff I wrote," and we were just like, "Let's just keep going on it." And the thing about our writing process is a lot of times I'll come with like a riff or a progression or a melody, and I'll just keep playing it, and everybody just does their part, and then at the end of the day, nobody questions anybody's parts.
Oh, right.
Nobody goes, "You should do this," or "You should do that."
Yeah, that's
or
rare.
We just go.
We trust each
Cool.
other to
Yeah.
know what sounds good.
That's
And
amazing.
that's why,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that I love playing with Aquila is that he's an animal.
Yeah.
And I
Beast.
said I texted him yesterday because I had practice with Dominic yesterday, and for a warm up because I was playing drums with him, I decided to play to All Along.
Yeah.
And after I was done, I was like, "Dude, how do you do this?" Like it was, I was sore after, and
Right.
like I've been playing drums my entire life. That's my
Right.
primary instrument.
Really?
I
Okay.
was sore
That's what I
after.
remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, sorry, I was going to say that I remember now. We were
No,
talking
yeah,
about that.
yeah, I was gonna say.
It's with the band in school. Was
The marching band. Yeah.
That's it. I
Yeah.
remember.
Back down in band camp. But yeah, so everybody just sort of kind of does their own thing, and if it doesn't click, we just move on.
Right.
So
Cool.
we have like a bunch of songs that are like sort of half written because it was just
Yeah.
we just didn't find anything that clicks, and then every once in a while when we're because we've been writing machines since we got together.
That's great.
And it's been a lot of fun just to be able to present ideas and just they allow me. One of the things that I said, we played at Matthews recently, and it was like right around Thanksgiving, and I said, I'm unbelievably thankful for these two guys because they allow me to be this is the best writer I've ever been in my entire life.
Right on.
And the music that I'm able to do and what comes out of my hands, I'm not really a guitar player, but I know it sounds good and I can be able to do, but they have brought this thing out of me. That like that riff for All Along, like I would have never wrote that 5 years ago, 6 years ago in a million years. It was like a weird wacko. We're doing like some Latin bullshit and stuff like.
Yeah.
It's like very weird stuff, but they allow me to be so weird with my writing that when it comes down to the final product, it's always like I'm always so proud of those 5 tracks on there. I'm unbelievably proud of.
Yeah.
And it's because of these guys.
And you should be.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, they're really good.
To
man.
hear you guys talk about it is like, it's honestly like when you were talking about it for a moment, I like choked up. Like I got like emotional because I'm like so attached to these 5 songs and the fact that we have another 10 waiting.
Yeah.
So it's like when we're already like looking at, all right, let's release the next EP. Let's do the next thing.
You sent the tracks the other day on via email, and then you sent me a message, and you're like, "Hey man, I sent you the tracks. Give it a listen, whatever, etc." And I have have an art gig that I do 3 days a week part time, and I was sitting at the desk and I'm doing my thing. So I put my headphones in. I told you I was just going to listen to it.
Yeah.
Man, I had it on loop like the rest of the afternoon. Like it was like I was just like, damn, this is good. You know, and some of it I remember from seeing you guys at Average Joe's or whatever. But it was just like, just good stuff, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
just good
Not
stuff.
just me.
That's what I feel like.
Or me.
That's like
not just your mom that likes it,
We
okay?
are our biggest fans, and for such a long time, I feel like that was sort of stigmatized. And I have no issue with saying that if we have 10,000 plays on Spotify, 9,000 of them are us.
Yeah.
And I don't care. It's fine.
More than likely 9,090 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Nobody else is listening.
No, it's cool. There's some tunes on there. That Surfs Up's quite a lot of fun. So I like the way that you've included, all the chatter from the take at the beginning and the end there. That's neat.
That recording is the very first recording we ever made of that song.
Yeah.
And that
That's-
was like from my iPhone.
That's like the first real recording we attempted to
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah, that was, and we were in our practice space, and I have on my phone like tons and tons of recordings, but I would literally just
I know what that's like.
have the phone on there and just hit record on the audio recorder and just record the songs, and then after practice we'd send all the songs to everybody, and then we'd be like, okay, I like this part from this part, that kind of thing. So that was the very first run through ever of Surfs Up, and I just tagged it on the front and the end.
Yeah, that's cool.
And honestly, it's like listening to it the first time through, I was like, it gave me chills. I was like, I can't believe like in 6 months how far we've come.
Just that
Here we go.
song.
Just that song
Yeah.
alone. Yeah, just that song alone. And you could definitely hear because Akila's cackle at the end of the song.
That's just so amazing, though, man. Like I didn't realize it had only been 6 months. The fact that you guys have been together 6 months and like you are where you are and you're playing these shows and you've put out an EP and it's quality stuff. I mean, like that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
cool.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that testament to, hard work and inspiration. It's rad.
I mean, like I can't even imagine what it would be like right now musically without playing with these two dudes. Like I'm so happy to be in this, especially coming out of the situation we were in
Yeah.
to now.
Man, I can relate.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling when it all locks in and comes together with the band.
And it's one of those things where like for a long time, I guess not really a long time, but for a moment there was like, I can't believe I put myself through that. And then
He didn't want to do this.
I know. Well, this is the thing. Akila was like, after we left the last group, Akila was like, we should get together. And he bugged the hell out of me. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do this. Nah, I don't want to do this. Like, I literally just went through this bullshit. Like, I don't really know you guys. Like,
Right,
I know you, but I don't really know you. And it's like, am I really going to take a risk? Like, I'm 33. I'm like, I'm not old, but I've been doing this for,
In music years, that's like dog years.
Yeah, exactly.
And 33 in music years is like 106,
you only have
right?
a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, Akila knows. I mean, he's 7,
Yeah,
so I mean, it doesn't really
he's
make a
got
difference
time
for him.
to screw up.
Getting younger and younger.
But yeah, eventually he'll be prepubescent. Was it? So
You're just a fetus, man.
how's a fetus talking? But Akila and me, like, we've been through the ringer many, many times. Yeah. So like, we both are at the point where it's like we only have a few more shots at this.
Yeah.
So Joe, I mean, there'll be more stuff after we're dead and gone for Joe. But but even him being young, like I mean, in reality, like most people would think about it as that a concern because he's so young, mature as hell, was
Sure.
able to come into the fold and do everything. Commit, and that's the one thing is like it's really hard to find people that commit, and that's
Yeah.
why like I love it's a trio.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
three of us,
Just the
and
three of us makes
that's
it
it.
so easy.
And
Yeah.
how
Just the
easy it would
three
be.
of us.
Shut up.
We can make it.
Never mind. I quit. This was fun.
That's it. All right.
That's
Podcast
it.
over.
I
Let's
can't
go.
do this. But the three of us makes it really easy, and the three of us gelled really quickly, and that's why we were able to like write so much and put out this EP, and everybody worked really, really hard. And I mean, these two dudes are amazing. So
That's
I'm very
awesome.
happy.
Same to you, man.
There's
Yeah.
what was I talking? Sorry, I got completely lost my train of thought.
Just all love in the room. Getting all theory.
Oh yeah, I remember. So Rocky, I was playing with him when he was your age, like when he was like 23, and I was about your age. So yeah, I get it. I feel like music, it definitely kind of crossed those sort of like generational gaps. It's like when else would you be hanging out with people who are like sort of 15 years sort of age difference, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just seems to work with music,
Oh,
and
so-
it's fine, it's not weird.
It's like me and Killbillies and playing with you children.
I honestly totally forget. Like, I mean, like we always make jokes about him being young, but I honestly, up until probably about, I don't know, maybe like a month or two ago, I never even really knew how old Aquila was. I never asked. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I knew he was young.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah, I
one
know
in the
you're like
group.
47, but what is it? No, but Joe, I always knew was young, but I never even pay attention to the fact that
Yeah,
he's
he
that.
did, yeah.
I like he just said 23, and I was like, whoa, he's 23. Holy shit!
Is it is
Yeah.
it hard to work your guys' like schedule with touring and everything with Joe's middle school schedule?
Well,
Yeah,
we have told.
I can answer that for them.
We have told his
I know
teachers
it's a
we're going to
pain.
try and keep the assignments coming in at the right times.
Okay,
But I mean,
that's
like
fair.
we're
That's
not,
fair.
you know, we're going to
They got
switch
me
to
reading-
homeschooling.
They got me
We've
reading
learned.
3 books while we're on just these 2
We have
little.
science
Some,
right
yeah,
now.
summer reading has been a bitch. Let me tell you that.
Book reports, yeah.
We had Alyssa Marie Kuhn on the show. She's a country singer.
She's
And
really young, too.
Yeah, she's 17.
She's 16.
The amount of times
geez.
me and Hector said, "Oh, when I was your age," it was the worst.
It was the worst.
But you
She's
kinda-
she was a great guest.
Oh,
and she's an
absolutely.
amazing artist. But yeah, the
That
two
was
of
a
us,
fun
the two of us
podcast.
just felt like these 2 old dudes. You
Yeah.
know, like
Crusty old geezers.
Yeah.
When I was
when I was your age, uphill in the snow, both ways, barefoot.
But you can't help it though at that point. You know what I mean?
know,
Like it's
yeah.
you're noticing every conversation you're having. You're noticing the age difference.
Well, I
Yeah.
felt the same way when we interviewed Sierra Lane. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's young too.
she's like
Yeah.
she was, I guess, just 18 or 19 when she was on the podcast.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So it was the same thing. I was like,
Yikes.
yeah. And
Spring
and
chicken, I
she's
used to
another
teach
one.
her.
And she's another one. You're talking about Joe's maturity and stuff. She's another one that's like super mature and just speaks so, better than I do apparently. Speaks so eloquently about everything. Yeah, I mean, like she
Yeah.
was like well knowledged about her craft and
And
everything.
she
I
has
mean,
some great jokes.
yeah,
She's super funny.
She
too.
was really funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
she's another one that's just like way more mature than
That was
than-
episode 1, right?
That was
Yeah.
episode
Amateur
1.
fan, man.
And she did. She,
Yeah.
she was doing these like drop 2 kind of like major 7 guitar shapes and stuff like that when she was just kind of getting ready. Like she's
She plays. I
She
played
plays
with her
like
for a
an
little
adult.
bit, and watching her,
She's a phenomenal guitarist.
she's a really, really good
Yeah.
guitar player. She plays reggae with jazz chords.
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's like, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
And like her friend Allegra Miles,
Yeah.
like she plays jazz chords and stuff too, but she plays it like almost in a traditional sense.
Sure.
And then Sierra plays, like the two of them, their guitar styles are very similar, but the fact that Sierra moves it into this like reggae thing.
Yeah, their
I was like,
styles are
I was like,
similar, aren't they?
what? It was
know.
blowing my mind.
Yep.
I was like, can't you play any normal chords? I'm like trying to like figure out what chords she's playing. Like my brain's twisting upside down.
If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, learn all the drop 2 chords.
Nah, I'm
they're
good.
called.
Pass.
I am fine.
Yeah, when I started teaching, like a while back now, 20 years ago or something, that's when I was like, well, I guess I better learn jazz chords if I'm going to be a teacher. And that
So that's
kind
one of the
pushed me
things
into it.
that I don't think it, like my wife always tells me, she's like, you should teach. And I was like, no.
My wife says the same thing about art.
I
She's
tried.
like, you should teach art. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I have the
good.
patience of a gnat, man.
It
That's
really
fine. I
works.
can't
Oh,
do
it's not
it.
even the patience. It's just that I don't have like I
You
can't.
feel that imposter syndrome?
Yeah, just like I don't like. I mean, if you want to watch me and take what I'm doing and then apply it to what you're doing, fine.
Yeah.
But for me to be saying that this is right
The
or
way to
wrong,
do
Oh, yeah.
something.
I can't do
yeah.
that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
doing all the wrong things for a very, very long time. I'm not the one to be able to tell you which one is right or wrong.
Pass along all the wrong things to the next generation.
Yeah, exactly. Which sometimes that works, but I'm not taking that risk.
So what you guys got coming up in the future then, in terms of like touring, stuff like that?
We've got a couple of conversations happening right now. 2022 is being blocked out for some festivals that we're talking to,
Nice.
smaller festivals, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
we tried doing like a longer tour, and it's a pain in the ass. So we're working on some Weekend Warrior stuff where
Okay.
we're going to go out for, and go to Texas and go to
Yeah.
Georgia and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and just do that kind of stuff. Because the one thing about what me and Aquila have been doing for what feels like a billion years is that we want to try and do something a little bit different.
Right.
And that's like with the EP, we're not releasing it on any platforms whatsoever. Not
Okay.
yet. So when
It's going to be a CD, you're going to buy it.
Yeah,
That's what we did with our last thing.
Yeah, or I'll do exactly what I did with you guys, and I'll just email you the tracks.
Right.
If you want the tracks, and that's you can go to our Instagram, and our email is up there. Shoot us an email and say, hey, I'd like the EP. You can send us money. The Venmo will be in there.
Quite an interesting idea. Is that
also,
a
you
political
don't have
decision?
to pay.
Huh?
Is that like a political decision?
Well, again, Spotify.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I just this is the thing is that like it made me. Like this EP came out at the right time when everybody was posting their like wrap ups of Spotify and all that bullshit, and
Yeah, I know. It pissed
I
me
always
off too.
I always look at like it's like Spotify for artists with a question mark. Like, is it really for artists?
Right.
They're making millions and millions of dollars, and we can get 100,000 streams on our song, and it won't mean shit.
You'll make $12.
Yeah, it's like what does that even matter? What's $12?
Yeah.
Well, it's
I'd much rather take the risk of not making any money on my own volition
Yeah.
I have it now, been
than
out there.
giving it to you and you getting all the praise for it.
Well, you know what it is? It's like you want something. Basically, I feel like streaming at this point, it's like it's an advertisement for the live show. So you want something up there,
Yeah.
but you don't have to give it all up there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And that's why like we're going to have this where we're going to send it to, we printed a bunch of, like, we've done everything in house. Like, that's like the one thing that we're trying to do. We're doing everything in house. We have a shit ton of shirts that we're going to have available at our show for these weekend of shows that Joe literally drew. Like if you've seen the logo, the lava lamp logo,
Yeah.
that's something he drew.
Oh, cool.
And then we took to an artist that made it into a JPEG and we could put it on shirts.
Yeah.
He just drew a new logo that is going to be literally me and my wife yesterday were just she bought a Cricut. We printed up a shit ton of shirts, so we're going to have all those ready for the weekend of shows.
Cool.
All of the
with the
CDs,
vinyl and stuff?
With the
Or-
vinyl, yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
has our
cool.
new logo on it. And the CDs will be, he went to Office Depot today, I think, or yesterday. And
yeah.
got printable CDs, and we put it on there. So it looks like shit out of high school, but it's like, we're broke. We're not,
And it's a thing that contains our music, so
yeah.
It's punk as hell. I love it.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
I
like,
love
so
it.
we're
You know?
trying to, like, the recording process. I literally bought a multi-track recorder. I bought a computer. I made the investment into that. We recorded everything. We
Yeah.
sat down. We mixed it. We mastered. We did everything ourselves. Everything is completely us.
Yeah.
And that's so when it came down to releasing the music, I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
give it to Spotify. I'm not going to give it to iTunes.
Yeah.
We did all the goddamn work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why am I going to do that? So if you want the CD, you can be able to email us. We will give it to you. You don't have to pay for it. We're not asking you for your money. All we're asking for you is just an opportunity to be able to show you our music. And the music that's on the record is very us. It's us speaking to you. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, why put a middleman in between it?
Right.
So you can
on.
come to a show and you can buy a CD if you want
It's
to.
a very refreshing attitude, actually, because, everyone has an opinion about it with this Spotify stuff, and me included, but then, just kind of does it anyway.
But we do
Yeah.
it anyways.
So-
yeah.
Oh, we
yeah.
have, because we have a Spotify. We have like
Yeah.
5 songs on there. But when those songs, we sort of like, we did here and there and like uploaded them. And I think only one song was actually uploaded within like, because like, do you use distribution? You use like DistroKid?
CD Baby.
Okay, so we use DistroKid. And if you're supposed to like 4 weeks before is when you're supposed to upload it so that it can be able to aggregate to all the stores and be submitted to Spotify
yeah.
playlists it'll never fucking be submitted to, that whole entire thing. So you have to do that.
Yeah.
And we've only done like once. Every other song is like we finish the song and we're like, all right, we're releasing it tomorrow.
yeah, put it out.
Put it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
What the
yeah.
hell's the point?
Yep.
It was like, and
Oh, we got a show tomorrow. All right, it's the release.
There was a point in time. There was a point in time where we were literally like 3 months in a row. Every prop show we played was a single release party because we were just releasing shit.
You
We were
guys
just
wanna
like,
hear
get it out
something
there.
new? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So, but
Matt's been in your. Matt likes you guys, doesn't he? That prop.
Matt has been so supportive of us.
Yeah.
He kind of just took a chance on us to put us on a random show, and then has been booking us every month. And
Yeah.
he's given us opportunities.
a lot.
Yeah,
of
you're on those
opportunities.
reggae nights, right?
Yeah, so we're doing the reggae nights, which is funny because like we're going farther and farther away
Yeah,
from
we're
reggae.
barely a reggae band.
There's
anymore.
only
not
one
a
tune with
completely
offbeats on the whole
honest.
record.
And it's basically like a ska song. It's not even a reggae song.
Yeah.
So we played Scalaween, and we had to
Yeah.
play Surf's Up because obviously, I mean,
Ska
like
and all
it's
that.
that's like the only thing that's close. And then we went up
Yeah.
to and we played with Control This up at what's that place called? West End Trading Company.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we probably should play Surf's Up again because I mean, it's literally the only ska song. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, Matt's been fantastic, and Propaganda has been our home. I mean, like that's like where we've been playing all of our basically all of our shows. It's where we workshopped every single song that we've played, and it's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it'd be great if there more places like Propaganda around, just places for original music with a sound system and a dedicated sound person. You know, it's like there's not a lot of places. It's Respects and Propaganda, really. Isn't it?
The Respects. I mean, like that's a tough one. That's a tough nut to crack sometimes. So Propaganda is a little bit easier for us to be able to get FaceTime with Matt. And
Well, I actually just finished a mural project for Rodney, and just literally just had that conversation with him the other day that there's just not any good music venues around anymore. It's literally Respects and Prop, and that's it. I mean,
Justin and
Rodney's
I
actually
think
saying like if there's that he would welcome more venues. Like he wishes there was more competition because it would draw more bands into this area.
Totally.
You know?
Justin and I we've been talking about trying to open an all ages venue next door to here. We'll see what happens with that.
I saw when you posted about that. That was a great idea. And venues are very, very hard to come by that will accept original music. Because everybody down here just wants you to play fucking Margaritaville.
Yeah.
And
So
I refuse to do it.
if you're listening and you know anything about how to make money out of a venue that doesn't sell alcohol, please get in touch with me. Because it's something that
Any venues that are actually Denny's out there. IHOPs. And
I mean, I've been in the Northeast and played a bunch of like Masonic halls and like student unions and stuff like that, places that didn't have alcohol. And it's definitely in the punk and hardcore scene. It is a thing. I don't know any down here, but you know, in the Northeast, you trip over. There's loads of places like that.
There used to be. I mean, I haven't seen any in a long time, but there used to be when I was about 800 years ago when I was young, when I was Joe's age. There was a few people. There was actually a few places around that were all ages, and there was actually a place in Lake Worth that was an under 18 club, or an under 21 club rather.
Okay.
It was almost like Respectables, but it was for under 21.
Oh, right.
It was really kind
of like a youth club.
Yeah, it was called like Echoes or something, but they played all the goth stuff and everything.
Oh,
It
cool.
was fun. It was cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Well, because high school kids, I remember like when it was like down here in high school, there wasn't a lot of places to play. It was all the skate parks.
Yeah.
That was it. That was if you wanted to play when you were in high school, it was a skate park. You had to play at a skate park.
You know, when I
Spanky's was about the only place that would allow you to play.
When I moved here, I was like 30 years old, and I was like, where do the kids go? It just seems like you have to like drive around your car and get into trouble for doing drugs.
That is literally the only thing to do around here. That's why it's it's really, really tough to, I mean, like I grew up here and I grew up in like West Boca. So I mean, like a little bit more of a ritzy area, but still like there's literally nothing to do except for drink, do drugs.
They just do
And
more
that's
expensive drugs. That's
And
all.
like-
Yeah, very, very expensive drugs.
Or
Very
more.
expensive.
Oh gosh.
Well, that
Yes,
went
oh
south
gosh.
quick.
I tell you what, though, we're gonna give it a go. So if anyone has any
Can do
advice
expensive
or-
drugs?
No.
open a venue.
Let's be clear about
my
that.
days of doing expensive drugs are long
yeah.
behind me.
Yeah, yes.
But
Both of us, brother.
Mine too. Mine too.
Anyhow, if anyone's got any ideas about all ages venues, stuff like that, get in touch because we're trying to figure that out at the moment, and I'm sure there's people out there who've got sort of pearls of wisdom for us. So we'd love to hear them. I think this would be a good point for us to listen to a couple of the tunes that you did here at Live Music Community on your live stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we were asked to do this, we don't do any of our songs acoustic. I sort of refused to at a point in time.
I've asked him multiple times.
Multiple times.
I'm
They
like,
bugged me about it.
Can we at least try
It's
it?
like, they ain't nothing.
There's one song that we might down the line, but so
Like, no, we rock.
yeah. I was like, I didn't want to.
It's like, put your fucking distortion back on.
I just didn't want to. I feel like we're not at that stage yet, so I wanted to use the songs that we did from our live stream
You
this
can't
past Sunday.
scream without screaming.
You can't
there you
scream
go.
without talking to a microphone either.
It is just to the side of it. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
There's voices in my head.
We're losing them.
All right, let's listen to these tunes. I think it's a good idea to do it like this because you're releasing this record and give people an opportunity to hear it how it is on the record. So this is perfect. And we'll get back to the chat after we've heard these tunes.
We will insert those tunes here.
Everybody trying to figure out if you are safely progressing through life now. Maybe you always try to figure out how to use that maybe without wearing it out. I know it's getting really hard to learn how to let go, not figure it out. 'Cause I can feel the amber creeping up inside again, and I can tell that one of us is dead. Wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it down? Wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it? Wake up! I know it's getting really hard to learn how to let go. Regardless how that sounds, 'cause I can feel the amber creeping up inside again, and I can tell that one of us is dead. Wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it down? Wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it? Wake up! Live music community. Cherry red, it burns so. Cherry red, it burns so. Cherry red, it burns so. Cherry red, wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it down? Wake up, 'cause there's a fire in the house. Is that enough to burn it down? Is that enough to burn it? Wake up! Give it all to me. No goodbye history. Highs and lows, they all come to us. That don't mean that we just give up. Yeah, you always say, never go to sleep angry. Now I'm up all night, wondering when you're gonna come home to fight. It's happening again. Maybe we knew it all along. Fuck the voice of reason anyhow. Maybe we knew it all along. The same notes in a different song. Maybe we knew it all along. But we're just fighting the old inevitable. that you just must know. Highs and lows, they all come to us. That don't mean that we just give up. Yeah, you always say, never go to sleep angry. Now I'm up all night, wondering when you're gonna come home to ride. Now it's happening again. Maybe we knew it all along. Fuck the voice of reason anyhow. Maybe we knew it all along. Same notes in different songs. Maybe we knew it all along. So we're just fighting you, inevitable. Maybe we knew it all along. Stop the voice of reason anyhow. Maybe we knew it all along. Same notes in different songs. Maybe we knew it all along. So we're just fighting the old inevitable. Yeah, we're just fighting you.
This episode is brought to you by Handlebars Bar and Grill. It's a biker bar in Tequesta. It's right, if you're driving through Jupiter and heading north, it's right there on the side of the road. Tequesta is a small town between Jupiter and Hobe Sound. It's where I actually live. And my father-in-law reopened the place. It had been a biker bar for a long time. It was called Judy's. We changed the name to Handlebars, but that's pretty much all we changed. I mean, we cleaned the place up. It needed a good bit of spit and polish, and so we did that. We've put new AC in there, but and we have a dedicated chef there now. He's called Burnsy. Does a great job. We've got a whole bunch of beers on tap, just like it used to be, except now they're cold. They didn't used to be cold. so we've kind of we just upgraded the place, kept what people liked about it, and changed what people didn't like about it. We have a bike night there every second Thursday of the month, and on Saturdays we have music from 6 to 9, and on the fourth Sunday of every month I'm doing an open jam / open mic. It's just an opportunity to come either play with me or just play some songs by yourself, whatever you want to do. We just a big kind of open jam session there on the fourth Sunday of every month, which I am running. So if you want to come and play music with me, you can find me on the fourth Sunday of every month up at Handlebars. Who else have we got, Hector?
Well, before we do that, I have to ask you, when you do these jams on Sundays, is this where you practice your loop mastering?
Oh, so I'm doing my best with that. I'm sat next to one of the best loopers in the game, so I'm not going to claim any superiority.
Dude, don't do that. I'm already nervous.
All right.
But, I'm certainly doing my best with it.
All right. Well, this episode is also brought to you by Harmony Management Group, and that is our good friend Mary at Harmony. Basically, Harmony Management Group is kind of kind of a jack of all trades, really. She does a lot of bookkeeping. She can do anything from just a few hours a week of basic office help, office tasks, filing, organizing, or she can do full service business stuff, bookkeeping, payroll, tax services, data entry, scheduling, invoicing. Pretty much you name it. And she does a lot of stuff for Killbillies, so she's a fantastic person. If you need any of those kinds of things, she's because she's been doing stuff for Killbillies for so long, she's been pretty good about knowledge about the music industry and such. So
and she's worked in music schools and all sorts of things, and she's got her members of her family are musicians. Alex is a musician, and she just knows a lot about it. She knows a lot about the local scene, and she's just a great person to have on your side. She really is. Absolutely.
So if you need any of those kinds of services, reach out to Mary at Harmony Management Group, 561-420-5652, and she now has a new website, and the website is harmonymanagementgroup.com. So it's a fantastic website. Went there today and checked a bunch of stuff out. She just had this done recently, and it's really well done, and it's got all her services and everything on there. And she is now doing right now for the holidays. She's doing these pretty incredible gift baskets too.
So, really cool.
I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook, but she's got some really cool ones that they're like in these tea kettles and they're painted up and everything. And they're
nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're all very unique. So if you have any need for gift baskets, definitely reach out to Mary.
Yeah, multi-talented lady.
Oh yeah, she's got a lot of.
She's also my neighbor.
Really?
Oh yeah, she lives like 2 buildings from Ricky.
Yeah.
I found that out today too.
I see her dog. Her husband and Whiskey. I know the dog's name.
That's so cool.
Whiskey walking around my neighborhood all the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's pretty fun.
I love the way it is down here. Everyone knows everyone else. Lovely. All right. Anyway, the next thing is we're doing an event here on Sunday. This Sunday coming up. It's called Give and Let Give, and. Do you want to tell them about it, Hector?
Yeah, we can talk about it. So you see the graphic on the screen there if you're watching. The basics of it is kids get in free. Adults, musicians, etc. They have to bring an admission price, and the price of that admission is they have to bring some sort of music gear.
I thought you were going to say your soul.
Yeah, you have to give us your soul. Any kind of music
Sign
gear
at the door.
and it could be anything from a tuner to a Marshall full stack, which I hope you bring a Marshall full stack because I could use one. But the spirit of the event is bring some gear, and it's kind of a gear swap. If you bring something, you can take something, but the main drive of this is to get gear into the hands of kids.
Exactly.
Get them inspired, get them making music. If they're already making music, get them making better music. So
exactly. The spirit of the event is getting musical instruments to the kids that need them.
Yeah.
Not like a 35-year-old
me
man
coming in,
showing
picking
up
up
with
a
a
Marshall
matchstick and leaving with a half stack. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But a lot of great gear has been given. Ron from the Cravens gave a nice acoustic electric bass. I donated a PA a few weeks back. I got another bass that I'm going to donate. I know there's a whole drum set sitting out there with the stuff.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of pedals and things.
I got some weird and wonderful stuff I'm going to bring down.
There's a ton of stuff. So if your kid is taking lessons, and even if your kid is not taking lessons and they're interested in music, bring them by and let's make this happen for them.
Yeah, totally, and it's a good opportunity to come and see the school if you haven't seen it too. Just come down, we'll be here and just hanging around, testing stuff people bring in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna let people play the music. We have where we're recording the podcast right now is the live room for the school, and so we're gonna be. You can jam out and test the stuff, and we can all just have a big jam in here. It'll be good fun.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and the date for that is this Sunday.
Yeah, the 12th. Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
It's coming up.
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
That's it.
Almost forgot that. Very important.
All right, so guys, those tunes were badass. Can you tell us a little bit about the 2 tunes you chose in terms of like what the subject matter?
Cherry is, like I said before, Cherry is a riff that Joe wrote. Cherry is about essentially everyday life. Like when you're a musician at heart, but you have to work a day job,
Yeah.
that feeling of watching everybody else around you, sort of going through the motion of everything, and somebody comes to you and says, you know, like if in a situation where you just don't give a shit about anything, you just want to play music, it's all you want to, you just want to follow your passion.
Yeah.
They say, like, you know, the house is on fire. You're like, is it enough to burn the whole thing down?
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. And just being sick of not being able to follow your dreams at all costs.
Yeah.
And that's Cherry. And then all along is a fun one. It's about a relationship falling apart.
Right.
And one person is highly optimistic about it, and the other person has completely given up.
Oh,
But
wow. Is it a true story?
no. I'm obligated to say no. No. It's because my wife always says to me, she's like, "Is this song about me?" And I'm like, "No, it's not about you." I was like, "Do you want this about you? I don't think you want it about you."
Do we need to talk?
But like one person being like overly optimistic about the relationship and saying that, you know, like we can be able to work this through, and the other one is like checked out a long time ago.
Right.
So it's sort of like the give and take of the verses are sort of saying, you know, like, you know, we can work on this, like we just got to believe in love and everything like that. And the chorus is maybe we knew it all along.
Right.
And it's like it comes to the optimistic person's being like, oh, shit, like maybe this has been broken the entire time and I just didn't even notice it.
Coming to the realization that it's not working is an awful hollow feeling.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it's horrific. And I mean, and that doesn't necessarily that doesn't necessarily happen just in relationships like man and wife or whatever like that. That happens in all types of work relationships,
Absolutely.
bands, everything like that. So I think it applies to all of it. So I guess in a sort of sense, this is the second time this has happened to me where you've asked me about a song and I said it doesn't pertain to anything, and it actually does. Where it does sort of pertain to something in real life, and but it wasn't like it's pictured as a guy and a girl or a guy and a guy or whatever. Yeah. It's pictured as a relationship, like what do you call that? I can't even think of the name. It's about like a relationship between two people, but it was actually about a group. It was actually about leaving a band and everything like that.
Gotcha.
I just didn't even realize that's
That
what
makes
I was
sense.
writing about until now. It's the last time this happened to me too. You asked me, you're like, is this about anything? And I was like, nah, not really. And then as I started talking, I'm like, holy shit, yeah. it is.
We're good hosts, man.
Yeah, I know, man. You guys get it. Howard Stearns.
You realize things about your own song.
I guess so, yeah. Damn it, man.
It's a good song, man. It makes me question my 25-year marriage. Maybe I'm the optimistic one. Sorry, man.
Maybe we knew it all along.
Damn it,
I said
man.
the same thing, but I'm single now, so I knew all of them all along, type of deal.
I told him if I wrote a song about his past relationships, it'd be forever. It'd be a whole album. I don't think.
We're gonna be a jam band.
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be like a
Just
Grateful
things
Dead
about
song.
his relationship.
It's okay, I'm becoming a rapper.
All right, yeah, you can fit them all in. You're a speed rapper.
I call that Taylor Swift syndrome.
So, all right then. We've got your pedal board on here, and I thought it'd be.
I think we're doing drums first.
No, we're doing pedal board first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll go with that. Then we'll go with that.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So the first pedal I'm going into is actually just a D'Addario tuner pedal.
This is Joe's, by the way. It's bass pedal board.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So after the tuner, go right into the compressor. That's a TC Electronics force field. After the force field, I'm going into the super octave, and the super octave I actually really don't use that much. I kind of use it for one specific part on the
OC3.
screen. The OC3.
Yeah, I have one of those.
The
for years.
Boss.
Yeah.
I literally just use that for one little part. And
Which part is that?
for Scream. For
See,
the
this is
breakdown.
exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we don't question anything about anything.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, I believe I am going into the...
That's the dark glass one, right?
Yeah, going into the overdrive. Actually, no, I'm going into the chorus after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you use chorus a lot?
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to use it a lot more.
That's a new pedal for
Yeah,
Okay.
starting to use it. I actually just got it like 3 weeks ago, but I'm starting to use it on a couple other things that we're working on writing right now, and seeing that it works pretty well live for a lot of stuff that we've already done.
Right.
We got a new tune where he dialed that thing up, and I was like,
It's like,
whoa.
yeah,
Oh,
it was,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty stoked.
And then from there, I'm going into Microtubes B3K from Dark Glass.
Right.
That's a bass overdrive.
Yes, to do resistance. Like that is like the absolute.
Yeah, that's kind of what
that is
gave us our
the pedal
sound.
that changed
Right.
our entire sound.
Oh, wow.
When he
Okay.
plugged it in, and then once again, fucking Rocky, man.
Yep.
Rocky suggested that pedal. 2 weeks later, he went and bought it, and we've never been the same since.
Never let it be said that Rocky isn't afraid to experiment. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
for
what he
sure.
did when we recorded Collection. He had, was it that pedal?
No.
Or something
he
like
had,
No, it was
he
a
had,
different one.
He had like a. It's actually I've seen it over here a few times when we've been here. I think it's called a Sans amp.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, the Sans amp. And those
Yeah.
are really nice.
I got
and
one of
he
those
had
on my pedal
something
board.
that looked like a Univibe or a Funky Vibe or something like that. But I don't think
Right.
it was that. I think it was something else. It
He just
looked
plugged in
similar.
and he ran the bass through 3 different, like out of the DI straight, out of one pedal, and then out of another pedal, and just recorded all
Yeah.
3 of them at the same time and was like, what's the sound? He was like a math professor.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he created the sound on the track that he was like, if you want this sound, this is the pedal you got. And he got it, and that's the sound
And
we
it-
had on the track,
yeah,
and we've had it ever
cool.
since.
It gets.
He is though, man. He is like a mad scientist in a
Yeah.
lab when he starts recording because
Yeah.
he's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that and
Yeah.
a dash and a
He's like,
pinch
you
of this.
have like 3
Yes.
tracks here, and you just blend this one to the left just a
Yeah,
little.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, he's
Watching
fun
him
to-
do Collection is the only way I was able to like be like confident enough to be able to mix this EP.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was like watching everything he was doing, and I'm like, what the
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And honestly, that's he learned quite a lot of. We learned quite a lot of each other. For a while, me and him were recording together all the time. We recorded a bunch of.
Well, the
albums.
No Name album was
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
me and
drums were
him.
like done in your room and shit
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and we also did the first Vibes Farm record, and we did the Coven record.
Coven,
and
yeah.
we did another one. We did Space Coast
Space
Ghost
Coast Ghost.
record.
Oh, okay.
We did quite a lot of stuff. And then I started to get a little bit done in by having so many people in my house all the time because literally like in my second bedroom, you know,
Yeah,
like
that's
traipsing
gotta be
through.
too much.
Yeah, like, you know,
Feel bad for your wife.
right, exactly. Yeah, you know, like 5 dudes all like smoking weed in the house. You know what I mean? It was a lot. So like,
Yeah, that's just
Sounds
the
like a-
reality. But that's
sounds
the
like a
reality of
Tuesday.
it.
yeah. So it's really actually pretty awesome that I work here at Live Music Community now because it's got so much facility here. So if anyone wants someone to record their band, I'm all about it. Get in touch because I've got like little holes here and there, and I'm looking to record someone. So.
Come smoke weed in Ben's house.
Yeah, actually, the one thing you can't do, it's a school, so you can't smoke
Oh,
weed
okay,
in here.
Come and not smoke weed.
Record something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got a picture of your drum kit, Akila. This is really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about your drum kit, mate?
Well, this started
This is just after we started, right?
Well, I've been playing with that same body, like the wood I got. I got that shell kit for the tom and the floor tom. I actually got it made with 3 different types of wood. I have birch, maple, and oak.
Okay. Is there any reason why you chose those woods?
Because I was
He's a big fan of woods.
I was on tour with a band, and we were playing a lot of different styles of venues with different, whether it was the climate or the acoustics of the place. And I wanted to make something for not only for me, but for the sound man, where drums have a lot of resonance and a lot of reverb and things like that. So I made it to where I kept playing with it, cutting shorter, making air holes, things like that. So when you plug in the mic, you really don't have to do much.
Gotcha.
Just turn the volume up.
It does sound great. I've heard it in the flesh, and it sounds really great.
Yeah.
And on the recording, the only thing that's on the toms is like a tiny little bit of EQ, and then
Right.
that's it.
Yeah,
the toms are basically just exactly the way they are.
And the sound that comes out of it, basically, I wanted to minimize everything. You don't need a kit that's ginormous to get the same sound out
Agreed.
of it. So I have a 16-inch bass.
Yeah.
And
the
it
first
sounds.
time he told us of it, he's like, I'm buying a 16-inch bass drum. I'm like, what?
Is it a tom that you've like
It
turned
used
into?
to be,
Yeah.
and I
Because
converted
it has the
it
metal
to-
hoops on it. I was like, that's not a bass drum, buddy. That's a tom.
I drilled some extra holes and I did some extra little things, and it sounds like a 22.
It sounds great. It really, really does. It's awesome. And, you know, that's it. Just messing around. I'll tell you what, we used to play with this band called Mouthwash back in the day. They're still a band, a really good band. And all you had to do with it, all of their guitar tones were super dialed in. The drums kit just sounded great. All you had to do was make them louder. You didn't have to mess around with the sound like at all. It's like the unplugged, the rhythm sections just sounded perfect. It's like all you had to do was just amplify the band, you know? There was no messing around really to be. And at the time, we were nowhere near as sophisticated as that in the band I was playing with. Well, you know, we had some pretty decent tones, but we didn't have it dialed in like they did. And I just noticed that if no matter what venue they were in, they just sounded great because the sound guy had to do barely anything, you know? Yeah. So I totally respect that. You know, it was awesome. Yeah. All right, so yeah, the last thing we do on this show is we talk about any gigs we got coming up, isn't it? So what you guys got coming up?
We have, when this comes out, our first tour date will have been passed. So that would be that propaganda. And it was a great time, everybody. Thanks for coming out. When this does come out, we're going to be playing that night at Sully's in Melbourne.
Sully's, yep.
Sully's in Melbourne. We're going to be playing with Natty's Common Roots.
Cool.
They are from Cocoa.
Yep.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach. And then Dominic Delaney and the Dead Language.
I love the fact that I live near a place called Cocoa Beach and I live in a town called Jupiter. Florida's psychedelic, man.
We're out there.
Justin, we've lost Ben.
I love it. It's awesome.
Cocoa Beach is a lot of fun. I had a really interesting experience opening up for the Supervillains in Cocoa Beach, where I was playing with the band and we went out to the beach, like sitting on the beach, and there was supposed to be a launch going off because it's like right by Cape Canaveral, whatever the hell it's this. And we're sitting out there and we're all like smoking a blunt, hanging out, like oh, it's gonna be so cool. And we're like thinking we're the only one out there. The thing goes up, the whole beach is full, and we're like stoned out of our minds. We're like our minds just melted. There's like 1,000 people on the beach in Cocoa Beach. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Anyways, so we're going to be playing at Sully's in Melbourne. We played there with Sons of Paradise a couple months ago, and it was like a really, really cool place, and they loved us, so they wanted us back. And then we're going to be playing at this place called Axe and Grog in Daytona.
Axe and Grog.
Axe and Grog.
That's awesome.
It's a very interesting name.
Pirate is all hell.
Very bizarre.
Is it a axe throwing place?
No, it's surprisingly not. I don't know.
It's not?
No, it's not.
Really?
It's not.
Okay.
My opinion of axe throwing places is this.
Have you ever done it?
No, it sounds
I
amazing.
want
and
to.
I
It's
can't wait.
fantastic. Please do it.
I just
need
have.
that.
I have my little take on it, and I don't know if this is true, but so if you open a place that sells booze and has axes, at some point,
Someone's getting hurt,
Someone's gonna
right?
get hit by
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And that
it's
was,
gonna happen.
Everybody's
not
sounding
be an
weird.
accident.
I agree.
Believe me, that thought went through my head.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
It
I'm
may
like,
not be an accident.
Man,
I mean,
I really
I feel
hope
like somebody's gonna have like a breakup or something, and then someone's gonna get pissed off, and it's gonna happen.
Yep, that's it.
100%.
I'm
That's
not
why
saying
Aquila
people
can't
shouldn't
go
do
to
it. I'm
Axe
just,
bars. We won't allow it. We won't allow it. We just never know who's going to show up. That's the first time I went there. First time I went axe throwing, I was with it was like a birthday party.
Yeah.
And I was with like 15 people, and I know these 15 people. These are rowdy motherfuckers.
Right.
So I walked in. I was like, this is not going to end well. Somebody is going to get hurt. Surprisingly, nobody didn't. But yeah, it's the first thing that went through my mind. But but do it.
Okay.
It is
All right.
so much fun.
Yeah,
I love
it.
throwing darts, and it's relatively similar.
Don't
Yeah.
give me an X.
No, we don't. No sharp objects for him. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's not.
And
It's
Joe's
not
not allowed because he's just
Yeah,
not
He's
old
not
enough.
old enough.
He's not old enough.
Yeah. He's
All right,
2.5.
that's the last one, Joe. I promise.
It's not true.
That's the last one. It's nearly your bedtime.
Definitely not.
Nobody told us that there was a certain time for this. We can go as long as we want. Before his bedtime.
Don't worry, Joe. We got show tomorrow.
All right, so
It's an early show, though.
Killbillies has got.
Sorry.
All right. We can
See
do
why
this.
we've been doing this? It's just like an endless pot.
It's great, man. Yeah, we're playing the Square Grouper, which is this 21 and up. Sorry, Joe, you won't be able to make it. So it's 3 to 6, that one, and then
That's the duo. That's you and James.
yeah.
Yep.
And then we got Carson's Tavern and Stuart from 9 to midnight on that Saturday.
That's
as
right.
well.
And it's my birthday, so
Yeah, it is. Hector's birthday.
Yeah, I'll be
Finally
I'll be
21.
finally 21, right? Older than Joe.
And then I'm
Joe's
playing.
been sitting around waiting for you.
If anyone wants to ride up with me from the Give and Let Give event we're doing here, right directly after that, I'm playing at Chuck's in Fort Pierce as a solo gig on Sunday the 12th.
Oh, we might stop by. We're going to be on our way back from Daytona that day.
Oh, cool.
So
That's awesome.
maybe we might pop in.
Well, that'd be very awesome.
Are we allowed to talk about our looping show or no?
Oh yeah, let's do it. We don't have the graphic. We'll put that up next week. But
That's fine.
Yeah, we're doing a on
Just
the.
our faces. You picked legitimately the oldest picture.
Would
I
you
think
get-
that's on the internet of me.
Would you guys call that?
Aside from like
That
looking up
happened another
public
time.
records of where I was born in New York and getting my actual baby picture, that is possibly the oldest picture.
I'm so
I saw that
sorry.
picture.
It's
I'm
quite a
like,
good
oh
picture.
my lord.
I'm sorry.
That's like from 15 years ago.
Oh God, I do apologize. Well, you look
That's
good in
all
it. That's probably why.
I appreciate that.
That is the loop. There it is.
Yeah,
competition.
exactly. We're calling it Loop. There it is.
Loop, there it is.
And
Victoria Lee.
Hector's going to be emceeing it.
MC.
And yeah, it's
I'm curious how that's going to go.
yeah.
How are you emceeing this?
Well, he's going to go now. It's today. I don't know how.
Let's get ready to rumble. No.
There you go.
Let's get
He's
ready
just
to
gonna-
loop.
In between each person, you're going to go Loop. There it is. In between each one.
And now,
I quit.
in the red corner.
Akila's gonna be back there.
Yeah,
doing
there's
drum
4 of
rolls.
us. It's Joey Calderio, and Ricky and Victoria Lee, and me. And we're all gonna try our best to loop something up awesome, and then I guess the crowd is going to decide who is the best.
I don't know. I think we talked about like it's a competition, but there are no losers. So
it's like
there you
whose
go.
loop is it anyways?
right, yeah,
It's that modern kind of competition.
Are we in middle school?
You get a prize for taking part.
Everyone gets a trophy. Everyone gets a trophy. Ben's buying everyone an RC 600 or something.
Wow. Okay. I'm definitely in. I gotta go and practice now.
Sponsored by LMC. Don't tell
Can I
Justin.
Give everybody our RC 600s.
So if you don't know, the RC 600 is the new looper the boss is coming out with, and I did just buy one today. I bought it today. So that's coming, and I'm going to try and use it at this thing.
But I am relatively nervous now because you keep saying that you're going to pull out all the stops, and I don't know what that means because you play saxophone, and I feel like literally anything I do is going to be crushed by the fact that you play. I almost bought a saxophone.
I'll tell you this right now. I have done 0 practice for this thing, so it's
Okay,
fine.
make me feel a little better then.
I
A little
talk
bit
a
better.
good.
I've done nothing.
I
I'll
talk
play
a good
saxophone
fight.
for
but
you.
You're not playing
I'm
anything.
gonna do some practice for it, but I haven't started yet, so don't panic.
Okay.
I think. Do you know that song? It's what's it called? It goes. It's a drum and bass tune by Shy Effects.
Probably not then.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt some live drum and bass looping. That's gonna be-
I don't know what that means, but I'm in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
Okay.
I haven't practiced my MCing either, so don't feel bad.
I guess
You're
this
the
is
one I'm
practice.
really worried about.
This is gonna be an interesting evening.
I will definitely be there.
January 6th, Thursday night at Guanabanas. You do not want to miss this. It's
No,
gonna be
totally.
weird.
I mean, because at the very least we can all do it, so it'll be decent, you know.
Yeah.
Like just so long as none
it'll
of
be a
us
good time.
Well,
attempt something
Guanabanas
we
followed me on Instagram, so really, if the show doesn't even go off, I won. Fine. Finally, you're getting my messages.
Well played. Well
That's pretty
played.
hilarious. No, shout out to Matt. I think he listens to the show occasionally. He's a good guy. I went to see the Heavy Pets and saw Matt actually, and we chatted about the
The Heavy
thing.
Pets are so good.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Like
Was that Blue Whale? Is the Blue Whale what album that was like the whale?
I've never listened to their albums.
It's like it's got a whale on it.
Right. Okay. It's amazing.
We'll talk off air. Yeah,
I went to the gig because my brother-in-law was going, and I'm not really usually a jam band guy, but I was watching them. And I was like, you know what? God damn it, they're amazing.
They're so good. Yeah. I hate that when that happens. You're like, I'm not into this. But it's like in that jam band scene, like I went to go see Dave Matthews, bored
Yeah.
to tears.
Right.
And I like Dave Matthews, bored to tears. Also, I wasn't on any like psychedelics. Maybe that could be
Right,
why.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, who knows?
You're
But
in
anyway,
Florida.
Yeah, I guess
Heavy
so.
Pets won me over for sure.
Oh, yeah, they're really
rock.
good.
Awesome.
And I spoke to them, and I think they might come on this podcast too, which is great.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because they're from down here.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, they're so good. I think it was like 2007 or 2008 they released an album and had a whale on. I don't remember exactly what it was, but the first track on it, there's a riff that every once in a while pops in my head, and I'm like, what do I know this from?
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
It's from that album, and I can't think of it. I'll bring it up.
I'm going to go listen to it
Yeah,
after this.
yeah,
probably,
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Ricky, always a pleasure. And if you have any other musical projects, you're always welcome. But no, thanks to all you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
We both, me and Hector, really loved the band, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you. I
Thank you,
really
man.
appreciate it.
Yeah, peace.
Thanks, guys.
Take it by the scene. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out.